Good evening and welcome to Prime Time on a Tuesday night with Where Are They Now? WATN. And I know you know what we're doing here. We have got iconic musicians, music people. I talk to them every week. We want to know how they come to this point in their lives and what they've been doing. We also like to dig deep and really discover what's been going on in the underbelly of this mad business, which we love, and get the lowdown and the stories that have any musician who's been honored enough to have had this as a backdrop to their lives. You know, in the studio today are members of a band that started way back in the 60s. I was just a child then. They've paid their dues in the business. Welcome, the Staccatos. Absolutely fantastic to have you guys. Firstly, let me just tell you guys that any stories you want to tell me are all very legal and fine. We like to tell the stories, share the amazing things, the things you've accomplished. Want to hear about all the records, the gold records, the millions of records sold, the dodgy times, the good times. We want to hear those things that you've accomplished throughout your career and those people you've met and played with. People, some have inspired you, some have changed your life for the better or for the worse. You never know. No holding back because everybody wants to hear what you got to say, warts and all. So welcome, Brian Legasic, Steve Harvey, Ashley, sorry. Steve Ashley, welcome to the studio.
And thank you, Cindy.
And thank you, Cindy.
So I called you Steve Harvey. He's one of my favorite bands. You know Steve Harvey Band. So you should be flattered, not embarrassed. Please don't be embarrassed. I'm sorry I called you that name.
Sydney.
No, you can call me anything. People call me all
call you
funny
Sydney
names. They
also,
do.
though.
Sydney and all that. So we've
Sydney
got
also.
a couple people already on board that want to say hi. Marentia, Steve, Delia, Dougie, and they already saying, and Amy LaRue's on board. So just so you know, I'll get to see who's saying hello to you guys. Let's start from the beginning. I know I need to talk to Brian for this because Brian, you started this band in the 60s, man.
Yeah, rather about 1961, when I was
Let's
still
hear
writing
about it.
I was at Damlin writing my matric.
Okay.
Buddy of mine got given a guitar for Christmas, Hanukkah, I don't know, something. And he started taking lessons, and I took one look at this and thought, hey, you know what, if he can do it, I can do it.
I love
And
it.
learn a few chords and things, and eventually, bit of a long story, but put a band together with a couple of friends, and yeah.
What was it called?
1961.
What was what was the
Staccatos
band?
all the way.
Really?
Yes.
Where did you get that name from?
Funny enough, there was you probably remember Archie van der Ploeg. He
Yes,
had an
my
LP
gosh.
out with the guys, and there was a song on it called. It was more staccato because it had one C and two T's, which
Okay.
is not grammatically correct for the musical term.
Yes.
But hey, you know what? And
go
that's
with
where
it.
it came from. Took it off an LP.
I love it. It's a great name because when you think about it, the name has actually stood the test of time. That you guys are playing again now, which we know, and we'll get to that story as well. But the fact that it's not sort of some random crazy name that only applied to a certain time of or era, because there are those kind of bands when you say,
Yeah.
hey, some weird name that people go, oh, that's just not today. It's not fresh. But your name can still be used today. It's a good name. I love
And
that.
strangely enough, I don't know if you know, but there was a band called Staccatos in Canada.
I did not know.
They didn't know about us, and we didn't know about them.
Yeah, they weren't quite as famous as what we were.
Well, good. I know that in the band, the first vocalist was it Steve Lonsdale?
No, when we first started, we were four-piece. I did the vocals. And we then got a man who I'm sure you've heard of, Billy Andrews.
Yes.
Joined up with Billy Forrest years later after he left us
Yes.
and formed the Dream Merchants.
Yes.
But Billy Andrews came in with us probably about 60, 62, round about there. And then we got involved with the competition, which became known as the Beatles of South Africa. And we
Okay.
played movie houses on a Saturday afternoon. from Springs to Randfontein.
Yeah.
And there was no movie tone news or anything exciting. It was band on before
I
the cowboy
remember
movie,
that.
you know. And the final was at the Coliseum. And I think we were the first 4 finalists, ever locals, to ever play on the Coliseum stage.
Really?
You know, that had Cliff and the Shadows and those sorts.
Yes.
We were the first ones on, and we won the competition.
When was
Amazingly
this?
enough.
Like, what, 1960 what?
63.
Wow.
63. And part of it was a recording contract with EMI.
Okay.
And we did 3
And
singles.
your first
And
single was that song, Come Back Silly Girl?
that was the first one that actually got off the ground. When we joined
Yes.
up with EMI, we did a song called Ain't That Just Like Me, which is the first one. And then we
Okay.
did Will Ya or Won't Ya? And then Darlin', and I wasn't referring to you. What's the name of the song? What can I tell you? Those were the 3 with EMI. And they
Okay.
didn't really chart big time or anything, but we were new boys on the block, and having that sort of promotion on radio, it created the interest. And then we left EMI and we joined Teal.
Yes.
And that Comeback Silly Girl was an LP and a single which were released in
Okay.
65.
Because that's sort of what I remembered mostly.
Yeah.
That was the first song of the Staccatos that I remember hearing. But I was pretty young still.
Well, that's the one that got onto the hit parade and went all the way up to number 2, and that kicked off the whole thing.
And
And
then,
it all happened from there.
so you were still a 4-piece?
No, Billy Andrews was with us. He
So a
was doing
5-piece?
vocals at that time, yes.
Okay.
We'd become 5
So
piece.
after that, I think you did the Terry Dempsey song. Did he write a song for you guys?
Yes,
Yeah.
that was much later. That was 1968.
Okay. So
Yeah,
what
that was
happened
Jason
after?
Bakers,
So I still want to get obviously to the part where Cry to Me get recorded. Obviously, everybody wants to talk about that, but I want to get us to that point. And who was the singer on Cry to Me?
Steve Lonsdale.
Thank you. So that's why I asked you earlier. Was Steve Lonsdale the singer of Cry to Me?
Yes, but he only
Okay.
joined us in 66.
Yes, I understand. So
When Billy
take
left
me from Butchers and Bakers to Cry to Me.
What about the in-between ones? There's some fun stories there.
Well, sure,
When we joined
absolutely.
Teal, when we joined Teal Record Company, that was a whole new ball game for us. And we got into Teal, and I don't know if you ever remember their managing director, a guy called Gerald McGrath. We did a song. Steve had joined us. Billy left. Steve joined 66, and we did a song called Bless You. I used to
Okay.
call it the sneeze song, you know, Bless You.
Okay.
And it actually got on Hit Parade. Didn't do amazing things, but it got there. And then Gerald phoned one day and he said, listen, we want you into the studio. Can you come and have a meeting with me? Went in, played us a song and said, listen, do you think you could handle this? Yeah. This was a song called Spicks and Specks, which was
Okay.
actually by the Bee Gees. But
Yes.
the Bee Gees were with Polydor, and we were with Teal. And there was competition, and they wanted to get it out first. We recorded it, I think it was within a week. And they released it before the Bee Gees one, and the next minute it got up to number 2 on the hit parade. It went all the way up. And
I love
the
it.
Bee Gees got lost in the rush.
Okay.
And then they
So
found
you're-
us
you're-
again later. Later
Yeah.
that year, they did the same thing with a song called New York Mining Disaster, which was
I remember
also Bee
that song.
Gees. And
Yes.
we climbed into that, and that also, you know, we'd be playing a gig, and the teenagers would come up and say, the Bee Gees are playing one of your songs.
I love
You can't
that.
go through the whole story. You know, you have to give up.
No, you got to have a story like that.
Yeah.
At this point, can I just turn to Steve? Steve, how are you doing today, darling?
Yeah, cool, man.
Are you cool? Where
Yeah.
were you at this time of the staccatos and stuff? What were you doing in your musical career?
Well, look, I'm not that old. Okay. I started out in '68, but and then I went to the UK. I actually worked there when I was a youngster. Playing, gigging around there, playing with bands, and then I came back in the late '70s. And not long after that, that's when I hooked up with these guys.
Okay.
Early '80s. Yeah.
So you'd been working in the UK as a solo artist or with a band?
Yeah, well, different bands, different musicians. I was jamming with them, and then I did. And I don't laugh. I know it's a lot. It's a lot different to what I'm doing now. Then I did the Tom Jones thing. All the reviews. With the little dollies, with the little. Like the Maxine Follies. I don't know if you remember the Maxine Follies. I
No, but
actually
I know
joined
what
the
you mean.
Maxine. Yeah, I was actually still a youngster from South Africa. I actually joined the Maxine Follies, and I was
Wow.
with them for about 6 months. Yeah. All the girls dancing around you with all the feathers and that sort of stuff. Yeah, so
Okay.
that was something completely different.
Yeah.
It was more the
It's more
cabaret sort of thing.
Cabaret.
Yeah, it was the
Yeah,
cabaret sort of thing.
but a lot of the guys in those days were doing cabaret. I mean, when I first came on the scene, I was a young girl. I was like starting to go into the clubs like Cyros and stuff like that. And either you were getting rock bands or you were getting cabaret bands, and you'd go there and you'd have these cabaret bands and watch these guys. And there was Diane Chandler. Remember Diane?
Yes,
She
very
was
well.
so
Yeah.
brilliant, and that kind of thing was happening, and jazz quartets and all that stuff. There was so much happening in that way. It's nothing to poo-poo at, when
Well,
whatever you come
the first
through.
venue I actually played in, I actually sang it. That was before I left, before I went to the UK. Was a place called the His Majesty's Cellars. I don't know if you ever remember that.
Of course, we
In
remember His
Commissioner Street.
Majesty's.
Yeah, I worked for
Absolutely.
a Jewish guy by the name of Big Mike Manasevich. And that's where I started jamming with different musos, different bands and
Okay.
that. And and then not long after that, that's when I left and went over to the UK. Lived there for a
Okay.
while.
So you came back from the UK, and is that when you met up with these guys, the Staccatos?
Well, a couple of years later, yes, a couple
Yeah.
of years later, I jammed with one or two bands, different, not all that well known and that, and then I still did a bit of the, the one-man show, and then
Yes.
I hooked up with Brian, yeah, in
But you were
early
just in
80s,
the
yeah.
business. Yeah, you were
82,
in the
yeah,
business.
yeah.
Yeah. And I think also 82 was like a great time for rock and pop bands. It was big at that time.
Yeah,
There was
because
a lot
look,
of stuff
we
happening.
did a lot of TV work then.
Yes.
You see,
There
because
was a
then
lot
that's when
of
TV was big, yeah. So
And there
we
were
did a lot of TV
concerts.
stuff. Yeah.
and concerts and shows. Yes, absolutely. So then you two guys sort of hooked up and you started singing with the Staccatos.
That's right, yeah.
Tell me a bit
And,
about that.
Well, obviously, where do all the big bands play? But in Hillbrow. Oh, we played in the Continental.
Yes.
I don't know if you remember the Continental. We
course
played
I
there. How many
do.
years were we there?
We did two stints there.
Yeah, geez, yeah, we were there for a long time, eh? Yeah.
Well, in those
And,
days, they used to give us those residencies. You'd go
Yeah.
and you'd start for a 3-month residency, and if you were working well, then suddenly, ba-boom, there would be a 6 months. And then if it was very good, it was 12 months, and then they'd book you for the next year. So, I mean, those were the days, hey? We always
Yeah.
had work. I'll never forget that. That's what one of the big differences about what is in the music industry now. We have to compare somehow. Is that
Yeah,
we
we were
always
always
had
busy,
work.
yeah.
We
Yeah,
were
we were always
always
busy, always
and we
working,
always
yeah.
had work. And, it was wherever you went in Hillbrow or town, you could go out every single night and see a different band in a different club every single night.
Well, yeah, I think there must have been about 4 or 5 different bands playing at the time we were playing, just in Hillbrow.
That's it.
Yeah.
But the residency was nice because people got to know a particular band was in a
That's
particular
it.
venue.
And
if they wanted to
supported
see
them.
that's where they went. They didn't have to wonder where they were going to appear next.
Absolutely. So I just want to tell you, we've got Ebeth saying hello. Ebeth is the Staccatos manager, whatever you want to call her. She is saying hi to everybody. You guys are doing well. Fame organization here. They always come on and I appreciate them. And Morris Fresco. Do you remember Morris Fresco?
MASH.
Yes, no, very well. Yeah.
He's also
Who doesn't
a
know
legend.
Morris?
Who doesn't know Morris? Morris, darling, welcome, welcome, welcome. Lovely to have you here. And
Yeah, great guy.
so let's talk about the big song. You know, I understand the experience so well because Substitute for us was just monstrous. Afterwards, Save Me was just as monstrous. But Substitute, having a huge hit, having such an impact on the music business, and you as musicians and as people who play music. Let's talk about that a bit. Let's unpack it just a bit because it's such a unique experience that not every musician out there has that experience.
No. Well, I mean, at the end of '67, we got involved with Graham Beggs as a producer.
Yes.
And
yes.
we did a song called I'll Take You Where the Music's Playing. And he produced that for us.
And he was a very
And
good producer.
He was.
Beggs
And
was a
of
great
course,
producer.
He was ex-Dickie Louder and the Blue Jeans.
Sure.
He was a guitarist. And,
I remember.
we introduced through Graham to a buddy of his by the name of Terry Dempsey. And
Right.
Terry had just arrived in South Africa and he'd written a song. And Graham heard it and he said, I think I've got a band that can do that. And we did Witches and Bakers. And I have
Witches and
fond-
bakers and candlestick makers.
That's the one. And I have
remember
fond
it.
memories of Terry. He produced it. But when we were doing the vocal track, there was
Yes.
Terry in the studio singing high harmonies with us. He
I
had
love
an
it.
absolute ball. He
Yeah,
loved
I'm
it.
sure.
And he actually, I think he conned everybody, but I actually have a Fontana pressing here
I
of
love
Witches
it.
and Bakers, which
Oh my
was released
gosh.
in England. And at the time, nobody was released in England. There were sanctions against us. And it was
I was going to
terrible.
ask about that.
Well,
You know, we were all boycotted. I mean, later, of course, you were the 60s and Clout was in 78.
That's
And
right.
we were still boycotted. We weren't allowed to pick up a guitar. We were number 2 in the British UK Top of the Pops. And we weren't even allowed to pick up a guitar. They used a video from Holland to play for us.
Well, they
at number
wouldn't
2.
allow Crouch-Me to be released in the
No,
UK.
I'm sure.
But Terry, obviously coming from England, had contact, and I'm sure he never told anybody that we were South African. And it
No, I'm
got
sure
released
not.
in England.
Well, we
Yeah,
were
he
meant
told
to
him.
be Dutch, Dutch band.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Guys, I mean, we've got so much to talk about still, but would you like to do a song for us?
Why not?
I think Brian's
I'd lo-
going to do a number. I think hey,
I'd
that was
love that.
that was the first hit in 1965.
Okay, we'd
Yeah.
love to hear that.
There's a song called
Yeah, it was the one that actually kicked everything off for us.
"Come
Is
Back
that the one
Silly
you-
Girl."
Parade one.
Yes.
There you go. You won that EMI contract.
Yeah. And we were actually with Teal at the time. We'd already left
Okay.
him. Yeah, we're hanging around. But we were born ready.
Yeah. Cool.
Enjoy, everybody, a live performance.
I go and walking and I go around blue. I made you cry for I have been untrue. Ooh, and now I cry for you. Won't you come back, silly girl, come back to me. Come back, silly girl, can't you see I'm in love? Whoa, whoa. Your mama tells me that you're not at home. Each time I call you on the telephone. Ooh, oh, I'm so lost and alone. Won't you come back, silly girl, come back
me. Come back, silly girl, can't you see I'm in love? My love, come back, my love.
I think of you most every day. And now I hope and pray.
Come back, silly girl, come back to me. Come back, silly girl, can't you see I'm in love? Come back, silly girl, come back to me. Come back, silly girl, can't you see I'm in love? Come back, silly girl, can't you see I'm in love? Come back, silly girl, can't you see I'm in love? Come back, silly girl, can't you see I'm in love?
Woo!
Yeah.
I hope the sound was okay. For me, it was just sounding a little bit like it was going here and there, but I hope it was okay for everybody out there. Was it okay? Well, we've got so many lovely messages.
Yeah, just a
Angie
bit fuzzy, I think.
Yeah, it was a bit fuzzy, but it's all good. Angie Crew is there. Who's dad? Who's Angie's daddy? Brian?
That's right.
Is that you? Your daughter is saying she's so proud of you, Dad. I love that. She's-
Thanks, babe. Send money.
I just love it. So, of course, we're going back again just a bit to the Cry to Me story. Where did that song come from?
We were doing an album. Billy Forrest had become our producer, and we were
Yes.
looking for songs for an LP. And we went into True Tone one day, and we scratched together, had cupboards full of records that were sent here, never released here.
Yes.
And we came across this, and Steve rather liked it, just as a song. Changed it completely. It was very Afro-American sort of at that time.
Yes.
Afro-American sort of feel. And in this country...
Like an R&B kind of thing.
Yeah, to a degree. But yeah, at that time, there was the big following of soul music. Soul was big, Percy Sledge and all that stuff. So we rearranged the thing completely and made a soul song out of it.
Okay.
They released it. I remember when we finished recording at Vanda, and Stevie from Kirk, and you remember Stevie?
Of course.
The two of them did the backing vocals.
Yeah.
And the whole thing was completed. And my dear friend Billy said, "That's your next single."
Wow.
Excuse me? Are you serious? We just had a nice hit with Guests The Staccatos. You know what
It was an up song.
this? I mean, for real. We had the devil of a fight with him. I think we threatened to fire him. And he won. It was released, the album and the single, in the December. By the 1st of February, it was already number one on the parade. So we had to apologize to Billy. I mean, what do we know? As musicians, what do we know?
Well, we know something here and there.
How to argue with the producer when he says, "This is your single"? That we knew.
No, sure. I mean, we didn't have a choice with our songs. I mean, Biggs, used to choose the songs and just say, hey, come into the studio and do this. Give me a copy of it to listen to for a day or two before. And then, boom, I was in the studio recording. And sometimes I didn't like the songs. I mean, some of the songs he made me sing were horrible. Did you really?
Lovely butchers and bakers and but there it was, and it stayed on the parade for 12 weeks.
Jules,
And then a movie called Katrina came out, and we got a part in it, playing in a little club, and it was a very controversial film at the time. And we were playing in the club but everybody forgot about our poor friend Jill Kirkland, lovely folk singer. She did the theme for the movie, and it got steamrolled. Everybody remembered prior to me. It got back on the hit parade and stayed the second down for 26 weeks. So in total,
Whoa.
it sat on the local hit parade for 38 weeks.
Wow.
Way beyond wow, you know.
That's
Crazy stuff.
that's
as
a
far
really
as I can, as far as I can remember, I think it's still the highest song ever in the hit parade. 38 weeks is a long time. Eh?
wow.
Well, in this country,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Yes, yeah, in this country, yeah.
the Elvis Presleys and the Beatles were up in that sort of area, you know. So it
But
was
that's
crazy.
incredible. That's something, you know. That's really something. It's history. It's legend stuff in the music industry. You know,
But we
people
didn't
don't
realize
even.
it.
No, of course you didn't realize it. People don't realize it. People are talking now. I'm seeing people on the feed here
Correct.
saying, "Hey, oh, I remember this. Oh, I remember Hillbrow. Oh, I remember this." The thing about music is it makes memories.
It does.
And people have certain things. It's like, oh, I was dancing with my first boyfriend at blah blah when I heard that song or whatever. And that's what people come and talk to us about. That's what they relate to. They come and they say, oh my God, you guys, I remember what I was doing. I remember that song so well, and blah, blah, blah. And that's what music does. It takes you, transports you backwards, forwards, wherever you are. It transports you. And that's vital. It's an
And you
important,
probably-
important thing.
You probably remember too, when your songs get onto his parades, etc. It's not a big deal in your life. You don't actually realize as an artist what it's
Yes.
all about.
Yes.
You really don't
No, but
realize.
you don't
You're
because you're
having
in
fun.
it. You're having fun.
You're having
You're
a joy.
playing.
Sure.
Exactly.
You don't. It's
You
only years later you look back and say, "Wow, you know, it was quite something."
Yeah. And that's the thing. Years back, when you do look back and say, my name is something, I don't think of myself as something, but people say, oh my God, Cindy, you've done this and you've done that. It's the same with you guys. Steve, oh my God, look at you. Guys, having trouble with the sound here.
Where is that coming from? No idea. Sorry, guys. I don't know why the one mic's just not picking up at all. Just talk for me.
Okay.
Sorry.
This one seems to be going.
This is called
This-
online
okay, this is the one
entertainment,
that-
people.
This is the one that's a bit fuzzy, yeah. Yeah.
Online entertainment. Warts and all. I told you in the beginning, we want to hear everything, warts and all.
Jeez.
So long as you're being entertained, so there we are.
I'm always being entertained. I'm loving this. For me, it's the stories, you know. I love hearing this, and I know people love hearing this. Have we got any photos? Jules?
Sorry, we're just checking the sound here.
Okay.
Find out which mic is not working. 1, 2. This one is working.
Sorry, everybody. We're having a bit of a ooh-ah. Whatever the situation is, I want to know if we've got any photographs. From the old picture of the band or a new picture of the band. Because I know that the band is
Yeah,
reunion.
we got some coming up, I think. Yeah.
That's fantastic. I'd like to see some photos, please. Hello? All right.
We're just
So-
waiting for the photos. Okay.
You guys do look like
One,
you're standing
two,
on top of a balcony somewhere. I
Yeah.
hope it's green screen because it's
Well,
freezing.
that's why I brought my staff, because it's freezing up here.
I think I should put a jacket on.
Ah!
It's like really cold. Okay.
Are you in the building downstairs?
Guys, we're having a few people logging off because the sound is so bad. Sorry. Apologies, everybody. Yeah, we can't hear anybody, actually. I wanted to see some photographs or have some video. It seems like the sound is an issue today. If there are any photographs or I can see a video, I would appreciate it. If there's no photographs, Brian, did you bring some LPs that you were holding up?
Singles.
Just show me those singles. I can't hear a word you're saying, but just show me those singles.
Can you hear me, Cindy?
I can, Steve.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, we can hear you.
This is
tell me
The
where that
Turkish-
came from.
the Turkish,
Turkish.
release.
I love it. I also want to ask you,
This
yes,
is
what
the
is
German
that?
one.
Let me
This is
see,
trying
put
to
it
be
in the front.
German release.
Put it in the front. Yeah,
That's the German one.
okay. I love it.
And then we have the New York version,
This is very impressive.
the original pressings, and the most horrible looking label.
Now there's no sound whatsoever. Can't hear you guys at all. I want to see my time. We've still got a half an hour on the show.
A plan is being made.
I understand, but right now
This is
people
the
are just...
Rhodesian one.
Okay. I liked your logo, the Staccatos logo.
That was that's the local one. So yeah. Are you hearing us?
Not really.
Oh.
I want to... We've
We're
talked...
talking?
That's better.
What, you can hear this?
Yes, but there's a hell of a hum going on.
There's no more hum.
Yeah, the hum is gone. Oh my Lord, thank you.
What a good deodorant can do. The hum is gone.
I'm so happy.
And I thought you might be.
Very happy.
Yeah, that's all the different releases, and I've been lucky enough to actually get a single of each one, which is amazing.
I know who gave them to you because it's
And
Mark Voss.
I organised a couple myself, I must say.
Did you?
But Mark very kindly found things for me as well.
Mark
You're
Voss is
wonderful, man.
fantastic. He gets music from all over the world.
I know. He's
South
got the
African,
largest.
yeah,
He's got the largest
selection.
of. He's got the biggest collection of South African vinyl in the world.
I want to talk about some touring that you guys did.
Well, I think the biggest one was in 1968 when the
Okay.
Birds came out here from America. Remember the Birds,
Yes.
same as the Tambourine Man
Remember
and
the
all that
verse?
stuff?
Yes.
They came out here in 1968 and we toured with them right around the
Okay.
country and up to Zim. And funnily enough, that's where I met John Burks for the first time. It was his first gig as a compere. First time he'd ever
Wow.
compared. And I mean, we were, I don't think he was 30 at the time, you know, it was that sort of.
Kids.
And it was amazing because unfortunately the Birds had a rough one. A guy called Graham Parsons
Yes.
was part of the Birds. He
Yes.
stayed in England, found a girlfriend or something, and never arrived with them. So they played as
Remember
a
Graham
three-piece.
Parsons, the Graham
Yeah.
Parsons Project.
That's right. And
Very good.
he
good
let them
band.
down badly. And
That's
they
not
ended up with
nice.
one of their roadies. I'll never forget a guy called Carlos Bernal. He was playing guitar on stage, but he didn't know what was going on, so he stood with his back to the audience. And I think they just, I'm serious, and it was terrible. And I think they just lost the plot and thought, "Ah, you know what?
Shame,
this was-
man.
But you know how good it was for us. Every write-up in every city we did, Cape Town, PE, Durban, Joburg, up in Zim, we just ploughed into them. We got better write-ups and everybody said, Birds, what, you know? So it was an amazing boost for us
For you guys.
at their expense, unfortunately.
Very bad for them, though. Yes,
Very bad.
terrible for them.
And their
Steve,
drummer
you
at the-
weren't with them.
No.
Okay.
Steve joined us in about 83.
Oh, okay. 82.
So All right. Yeah. We're gonna.
Don't worry about the dates. The two of them, it's like Monty Python here. I love it.
Thank you. Monty and I'm Python. I mean, tell me. Okay, here we go.
Oh,
Really?
so I'm still waiting for some photos. Have we got any photos whatsoever?
Well, I hear shouts of they're coming, and I was about to say so it's Christmas, but
And I know you guys are going to do another song for us as well. Hey,
oh yes, we have to
Good.
do the big one.
we have to do the big one. Everybody's
Got it,
waiting
Chico.
for the big one.
Yeah, that's the big one. That sounds going to be right.
Damn, I wish we were on stage. We could ask them to throw money. What is that, Cindy?
Oh,
If we were
Graham
live on-
Parsons and Alan Parsons, not the same. You're right, Xander. I got that one wrong.
Yeah.
Alan Parsons and Graham Parsons, two different. Alan Parsons project.
And it
Not
was
Graham
it was GRAM, Graham
Graham
Parsons.
Parsons, yes.
Yeah.
But he also had a band. He also had a band later.
Yeah, but he, funnily enough, he didn't live to be a very great age at all. He died many, many years ago. Probably about 2 years after they visited here.
Really?
Yes. And funnily enough, the drummer, a guy called Kevin Kelly, who drummed with quite a lot of similar sorts of bands in the States, he also died in the 80s, late 80s. So it's really
We've lost a lot of musicians over the years, and a lot of people don't know all the musicians in a band, right? So if you
Correct.
like a band, you know the guitarist and you know the vocalist, for example, but you don't know who the bass player was, you don't know who the drummer was, etc., etc. And if the drummer does, everybody says, "Oh, the drummer died from blah blah," and you go, "I didn't know who he was. Who is he?" You know, and it's true.
It wasn't
So-
Inge.
No,
My
God,
friend
no.
Inge.
Inge's still going strong. You
I
guys got
know.
a couple of Sari awards, I'm sure.
We got a sorry in 1970
Wow.
for the top beat group. We
Top
were called
beat
we were called a beat group in those days.
I love it.
For some reason, beat group. I don't know if that was because you beat the rest of the
You
guys in the
see?
competition or what.
Look at that. Oh my God, I love
That's
it.
the first band ever.
Wow.
And that was taken on my veranda in Emmarentia.
I love it.
It really was.
That is so cool.
That
Okay,
was
now
like
this is the new
1962.
this is the new lineup of staccatos. And I know some of these people actually. I'm happy to see Joe Day there, Connie Bentlager, Trevor Miller. Ebeth is saying hi. There she is in the middle. I don't know the other two guys, the other new guys.
Both of them from Pretoria.
Okay.
Yeah, they're the new young and good-looking guys in the band. The guitarist, by the way, is 20 years old and the drummer's 30. Yeah,
see?
but it's cool because I thought, it would be nice to just get something new in, new ideas, new
It's
vibe.
lovely.
And really, these guys are very good.
I'm
almost
sure,
as good as
of
the old
course.
guys.
Yeah. Well, the thing is,
Well, I
a
mean,
lot
you
of
get-
the new bands do that. A lot of the
You get-
new bands now get new people in and younger people, and it just gives it a bit of a different life. I mean, Clout has gone through a lot of metamorphosis from the first Clout single, which was the 5 girls. The second Clout single had the 4 girls, 2 guys. And then later on, the 1 girl left. We got another guy in the band, and now it's a different band. We've got the original original drummer, the original vocalist, and the other guys are all just people who've been along the way, and it's fine. You know what? I think if the band, some people are diehards and they say, there needs to be the original band. I want to hear the original vocalist. Well, I'm sorry, he's dead. He can't be here or whatever. There
Or
might
living
be certain
overseas or
reasons.
whatever,
Yes, exactly. Our bass
Unless you're the
players
Beatles
also.
or the Stones, I mean, just about every other band, big
They've
band
all
has
got
had
other
so many
people in them.
different changes through the
Absolutely.
years. Yeah.
Absolutely. Even
Well,
we're
I worked-
talking. No,
over
carry
our
on. Carry on.
39-year career between 61 and 99, end of 99,
Yes.
37 people in the band. And that sounds horrific. But
No,
over
it's great.
39 years, it's only one a year, so it's not really such a big deal. It
You
just
see?
sounds horrendous.
Just a new one every year.
Sure.
So, Steve, you came into this band that was already kind of set up. It had such a big hit and all that. But you just slid right in. I think your voice spoke for you more than anything.
Yes, look, I've always been blessed with a big voice.
Yes.
The power and that.
Strong.
And I've always liked the
Yes.
power vocals. So, of course, we did a lot of. I know Brian and them were predominantly pop, I think, at the time. And when I came in the band, it was a little bit more shifted to the rock side.
thing,
We started
yes.
doing Van Halen stuff. Remember, we did Jump. We did some Toto. And I think we did
I love it.
one. I think we did some Journey. I know we did some ZZ Top. So,
Okay.
so we just shifted a little bit more because I was more, a little bit more rock orientated, I think. But pretty much still doing,
Pretty much, yeah.
That
the
kind
same
of thing.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. But we just got
Which is
away from
great.
doing like the manager song, which we had to bring back in again. Getting away from the sugars.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
And doing the stuff like the stuff we're doing now. I brought in, for example, a number called "Hold a Little Love" from Led Zeppelin, and
I
we
love
do that
it.
as an encore number. You know that the people go crazy.
I can imagine.
I know. Brian didn't want to do it at first, but we ended up doing it.
I thought it was a bit
okay.
heavy for the.
Yeah,
But they love it.
Yeah, it was a bit heavy. Then I said, well, okay, let's make a compromise here. We'll bring it in
Yes.
as an encore number, and that has become our top song
Big
now.
si- big
Besides
song.
"Cry to Me," of course. Yeah.
Yes. I think
And it was
it's very
funny-
important to grow with those kind of things, Brian and
Sure.
Steve. It's like we started off as this 5 sugary girl pop band. But when the guys joined the band, we became a rock band, even though our songs were mostly pop. But they all had that heavy Sandy Robbie guitar.
Sandy was your
that
guitarist,
thick,
yeah.
Yeah, that thick rock guitar happening.
Sure.
My voice, rock voice. And even now, I mean, we're doing Barracuda from Heart still.
Yeah.
We're doing...
My favourite
all
female
It's
band.
good.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Anna
that's my
Nancy
singer.
Wilson. I love that stuff.
Ann Wilson is the best female vocalist ever. You can't touch her. And then,
Oh,
of
yeah.
course, there's
We
there's
agree
new
on
girls.
something,
There's,
eh? We
there's
agree
a
on
lot of
something.
things we will agree on, I'm sure. And then we've also got. I mean, if we start talking about favorites, I wanted to actually just ask you quickly, just a few. What are your some favorite singers, some favorite bands from both of you? What do you like?
Well, I can tell you now, my two
Yes.
favourites
Yes,
is, of course, Steve Perry from Journey.
brilliant.
Love this guy's voice.
Absolutely.
I do some of his stuff. And
Yes,
of
I'm
course,
sure.
Lou Graham from Foreigner.
Killer.
Yeah.
Kings.
Lou Graham's big for
Kings.
me. But when it comes to bands, the Eagles.
Eagles are brilliant.
I'm an
of
Eagles
course.
fan
Okay.
forever. I love that band. Absolutely.
Hey,
and it's funny,
I'm
we were
too.
talking earlier when Steve joined. We were looking for a vocalist. And we were sort of scouting around Hillbrow one day and we heard the singing. And there was this guy on the pavement with a hat singing away. And we thought, oh, shame. And we took him on. And well, what can I tell you? The rest
That's
is
it.
history.
I just
You
had
were
to
singing
change
on
my
the
clothing a
pavement.
bit, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I love those stories. Those are
I
fantastic.
know.
And
I'd
you know,
love
they
you-
only hired me not because of my voice, but because they felt sorry for me at the time.
Sure.
I
'Cause he
needed
was
the money.
begging
I
with
needed
his
the money,
hat.
yeah.
And
Poor
that hat, with,
musician.
that hat with the money is a terrible thing. I was walking down the road a few weeks ago, and there was this guy sitting on the pavement with a hat full of money. And I just saw a hat full of money then. I picked it up and walked off. And the next minute, there was a guy with a guitar chasing me down the road.
You are very naughty, Brian. You've always been
No.
naughty. You're funny. do
Funny
you
looking,
guys
yeah.
feel like singing that song? I call my big songs are that song and that other song because people will say,
Ah.
"Hey, you're going to sing that song," So they know what it is. So please, will you sing that song for us?
That
Yeah,
one.
I want it. Let's just
Yeah,
see if we...
yeah, that one.
Gillian,
That
put
one.
a mic. Where's the mic?
No, you're gonna have to use the one you've got there. At 58, it's in your hand.
Yeah, but it's not on.
It is on.
It's very soft.
Hearing you perfectly.
We're having a challenging
Yeah.
day sound-wise, everybody. As long as you know, yes, as Pauline said, it's live, it's live, it's
Yeah.
live.
Thank goodness the
If it's live, it's not pre-recorded, people.
thank goodness it's live. The alternative's not even worth thinking about.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at some of our messages here. Cry to Me is coming up, kids. Janet Sedgwick, Xander, thank you. Sherry, hi Sherry, saying hello.
There's hardly
Yeah, yeah.
there's nothing here.
It's loud and clear. I'm getting you loud and
Heather, nice to see you, darling.
Yeah.
Okay, kids, everybody's there. Are we ready to go?
It's distorting. Okay, but then can you just put it on?
If it's a problem, let's rather not.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, there's a distortion here.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, go. Thank you, Stephen.
Yeah.
There's nothing on here. That's okay. All right, I don't know.
This is called management, kids. This is what you have to do if you've got a show. You've got to manage those people. That's it. If they're not here, pretend they're not here for now. Debbie, I'm glad you're enjoying the show. Dougie loves the Eagles, of course he does.
1, 2, 1.
Marisha, sweetheart. So I'm just talking to all my mates here on the thing. Whenever you guys are ready, I'll just talk to my people.
Just now, yeah, Brian's radio mic, and then we'll.
Sorry about this,
Lord.
folks, but we're having a bit of a...
That radio mic?
Yes, okay.
Do we have a video that we can show? A live video?
Yes, I can show a live video quickly.
Please do that while you guys are setting up the sound. That'd be great. Go to video. Go to video.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the...
Young man. Yeah.
Woo! Whole lot of love, baby.
You be cool it. Baby, I'm not cool it. I'm on a Sunday. When you back in school it. When down inside. Honey, give it to me. I wanna give you my love, yeah. I wanna give you my love, yeah. It's all I love. It's all I love. It's all I love. You've been learning, baby, I've been learning. All the way with that story, baby. Never got the view. Wait, down inside. Honey, give it to me. You gotta keep it cool. You gotta keep it cool, babe. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the time I'd like to introduce the band to you. The oldest guy in the band. Just kidding. Alright. On lead guitar, let's hear it there. For Yaku Smith. There we go. And a man who has been playing bass for many a long year. You're gonna put your hands together for Mr. Trevor Muller. And And on the drums, the man who lost his hair since the last gig, this year for me as Watts. A very talented lady, wonderful keyboard player, wonderful saxophonist, a beautiful person. Please let's hear it from Miss Connie Bengarger. And another lady that Brian is trying to get his hands on. She's playing hard to get. All right, let's hear it for our backup singer here, the fabulous Jodie. And then, of course, let us not forget our vocalist. It's him. Please put your hands together. The wonderful singer, Mr. Steve Ashley. And of course, the man that started it all, Mr. That's it, really. Oh, yeah. Mr. Brian Dessing. And of course, I'm really sorry. See, I just wanted to do that on purpose. I wanted to see if everybody was awake. And of course, the woman that actually started this all, because I'll be quite honest with you, I didn't want to, when she approached me and said, I want to start the Staccatos, I said, you must be crazy. You know? I'm working harder than I ever have. I'm supposed to be trying. So, this lady said, well, you know, if you want to start the Staccatos, I will do it if Brian does it. Okay, because after all, he was the man that started it way back in 61. So I said, let's, and I know he hasn't been playing for a long time. So I said, okay, let's get hold of Brian. And she nagged him for over a year. He wanted to know nothing.
2 years.
So let's hear our manager there. The lady there taking the photos there. This is Stuart Walks. There we go. There you go. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming. Take it easy on the...
Lovely. Everybody back. I got nothing in my ears, guys. Nothing. So I'm talking. Hello, can anybody hear me? Anybody hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay,
now?
good.
Can you hear us now?
Yes.
You can.
Yes. So let's do the song. Live. I know that.
Yeah, we still got some gremlins here.
I know. We're having a bit of a bad show today with sound. The show is great, though. Having these guys on is great. And I love Discover TV because they give you so many different mediums and give me a chance to have a show where I can talk to all these artists. And next week we have Sandy Smith. She's going to be incredible. She is a numerologist, very well known. She's spoken to all the big people in the whole world. She used to also manage Miriam Makeba. So
Really?
she's going to be a very exciting woman to talk to. She is she's going to come on, talk about her musical career, all the artists she worked with and all the big artists she worked with as well, and then tell us how now she's a numerologist and how it came to that. Because that's what the question is, everybody. Where are you now? And you guys are still going. You're still playing. I love that.
And we're having a ball as well, got to tell you.
It's amazing.
An absolute blast.
Tell me when you are ready to sing the song.
Well, I'm ready. I'm always ready. Yeah.
I'm very
Just
glad.
waiting for the,
Here we go.
Here we nearly go.
we're nearly there.
Nearly there.
When your baby leaves you all alone and nobody calls you on the phone, don't you feel like crying? Don't you feel like crying? Come on, baby. Come on, cry to me. When you're waiting in your lonely room, and there's nothing, no, but that smell of perfume. Don't you feel like crying? Don't you feel like crying? Come on, baby. Come on and cry to me. Nothing, no, nothing can be said like one glass of wine alone. And don't you know the loneliness such a waste of time. And I know you will never have to walk alone. You see, you can come on and take my hand, baby. Come on and walk with me. Now listen. When you're waiting for that voice to come late in the midnight hour, and there's no one, don't you feel like crying? Don't you feel like crying? Come on, baby. Come on, cry to me. Nothing, no, nothing can be said. That one glass of wine alone. And don't you know the loneliness such a waste of time. And I know you will never have to walk alone. You see, you can come on and take my hand, baby. Come on and walk with me. Now listen. waiting for that voice to come. Late in the midnight hour, and there's no one
Around.
Don't you feel like crying? Don't you feel like crying? Come on, baby. Come on and cry to me. Baby, baby. Oh. Come on and cry to me. You can just take my hand, baby. Oh, come on, cry to me, baby, baby. Oh, oh, yeah.
Woo! Wow, guys. Oh, so I have always a tear in my eye.
Waiting for.
That was so worth waiting for. I've got the most beautiful comments. I've got Andrea, Anse, and Shelley on board. They are mad about it. Odette. I've also got Sue, your other daughter, Brian. She's watching. Artie, thank you
All
for
the way
being
from
there,
the
my
UK.
sweetheart. Sherry again is there, all the way from the UK. Marentia, everybody that was there. They were waiting for that song. Everybody knows that song. Everybody loves that song. And you guys just ripped it. You just ripped the heart out of it. Oh,
Well, thank
I
you,
love
Cindy.
it.
Thanks,
No,
Cindy.
just absolutely love it. And thank you for being on the show. Thank you for taking the time. I'm sorry that we had so many little technical issues, but the main thing is we got to speak to you and we got to hear the song. And I just want to wish you all the best of whatever you're doing. Where they are now is on tour. They are playing. And as soon as we are let out and we're allowed to go and play shows again, I think Clout and the Staccato should do a double header. What do you think?
There's a good idea.
I agree with
That'll
you.
be such a great idea.
We should do the barnyards.
Do the barnyards. I think it's a
Yeah.
great double header because it's similar kind of things that we do.
You,
know?
you'll, pull,
You're
you'll,
the manager.
you'll pull the crowds, we'll deafen them.
No, I think we'll all pull the crowds, darling. Ebeth, thank you for having the boys here. I know how much you love them and support them. Their manager she just adores you guys, and she's so behind you, and she's so committed and passionate about this band. And it is a good band. It's a good band from the days that it started to right now. I love that you guys are working still. Just stay doing what you love. Do it with your passion and with your love, because that's all you can do. And thank you again so much, Discover TV, for giving us this amazing platform. Next week, we've got Sandy Smith on. She's going to be talking about music and numerology. It's going to be fabulous. But tonight was just spectacular. Bless your hearts, all of you. And thank you for coming on board, all my friends and people that come and watch and people that listen from all over the world. We love you and we appreciate you so much. See you next Tuesday, 6 p.m. Bye.
Thank you, Cindy.
Thank you.